all, I'm Laura with Hot Fan Media, and today I'm going to be showing you one of my methods on how to repair broken plastic trim pieces. Let's get to it. So today I'm working on a plastic trim piece that goes right over the instrument cluster on the dash of this 06 Ford. Unfortunately, this was a piece that I broke myself. You can see that this piece hangs over the edge and it actually snaps into place here on these edges. I do a lot of plastic trim removal. Sometimes breaks still happen. I was extremely careful with this one, but it got away from me. It lied to me a little bit. I thought this side had come out of its clip, but it had not. So when I lifted up on this side, it created too much tension and popped this side out. But can't cry over spilled milk. Let's take this stuff over to my workbench and we'll go through a list of tools. Okay, I'm at my workbench and I've got a few things here. First, we've got rubbing alcohol, which I'm going to prep the piece with, gloves, and for our bonding, I've got a quick setting epoxy, which I'm going to use because it's clear, and I've got this 3M Yellow Super Weather Strip and Gasket Adhesive, which is really a very long name, and I've mostly just heard people call it Gorilla Snot. I have put a lot of plastic trim pieces together with this at this point, and it's been one of the most durable products I've been able to find. So we're going to use this in between the cracks to give it its first bond, but then we're going to do this to really make sure that it stays together. I also have a plastic welder, and I debated on whether to use that for this project or not, but I don't think I'm going to use it. My experience has been that the plastic welds tend to be very fragile, even more fragile than the plastic is. In the little bit of research that I did trying to see what other people used, really nobody else uses plastic welding either. I think it's more of a fashion thing. We're going to go for our prep. Okay, I'm going to start with this piece, towel. You're going to want to be really careful around little pieces like this. I really don't want to break this off before I can even get to do my repairs, so got to be careful around that. Okay, we've got our pieces prepped now. When you put the pieces together, some of the crack will just completely disappear, mostly up here in this corner. When I put the glue on, I want to make sure that I'm putting tension down on all the sides, which is going to be difficult, but you especially want that tension on wherever that side is where it's completely disappearing, because that's going to be really helpful for the final step. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mix our epoxy. I found this carton sitting around from some packaging. You can use a little cup and like cut it very short. And I usually use a Q-tip to mix. I just snip the head off and then mix with Q-tip. So this says it sets in 8 to 10 minutes, so we got to kind of work pretty quick, and this is a pretty large area, so please forgive me if I don't talk very much once I start this process, because I'm probably going to be concentrating kind of hard. You kind of want to be paying attention to how much is coming out of each tube, because you don't want, too terribly of a difference in the quantity, because this is a 50-50 mix. Okay, now we're just going to give it a mix. I'm going to set this upside down. I'm going to applicate on this side because I can get a hold of it a little bit better than the other side. And I'm just going to run it down the side pretty liberally. And I want it to be pretty even, which is difficult because it's cold. Okay, this is always the part that makes me nervous. Now we gotta stick them together. Okay, try not to squeeze it too much. Got a plastic razor blade. I don't want it to dry with all this extra sticking up, so I'm just gonna see if I can scrape it off. Will actually help fill in the cracks a little bit. Okay, so I don't want to scrape off the other side, but I do kind of want to smooth the other side, so that'll give it a little bit of a more even bond. Okay, well, I've still got some epoxy left in my tray. I'm going to try to fill in these big areas here. Pretty much all the way filled in, but just want to make sure, because I'm going to come over this with some paint, and I want it to be smooth. No. It's not going to be as perfect as I want it to be, but it's going to be better than not fixing it at all. So we're going to give that some time to cure, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so it's been a good 20-25 minutes. Good news is it's pretty solid. The bad news is it drifted on me, so it's not completely even down through this crack here, which is super frustrating. That was the side that looked the best when you put it together. These things happen. So I'm just going to keep rolling with it. When we go to make this look better, we're going to sand down on all this shiny stuff because we don't want it shiny, and then I'm going to try to give it a little bit of paint. But right now, we're going to flip it over and work on the back side. I've got my Gorilla Snot here, and I've got my gloves on because this stuff gets everywhere. I don't really know that it needs it because I think this epoxy is doing pretty good. It's pretty solid, but this stuff is kind of flexible, so I'm gonna use this in hopes that when somebody, you know, needs to pull this out, this is gonna really help make sure that it doesn't break again. So the way you would usually use this to bond things is you would put it on one side and put it on the other side and kind of let them tacky dry a little bit and then put them together. But because we don't have that kind of situation going on, we're not going to do that. We're just going to kind of layer it on top of the epoxy. This stuff really is so messy, which is why I didn't want to use it first. So I'm going to use our epoxy first, and I'm just going to go nice and liberal. This stuff dries pretty hard, but it dries a little bit flexible. Oh gosh, it's getting everywhere. I'm gonna have to get into that corner a little bit better later. I'm gonna do this first. It's just running on me. It sticks to everything. I don't know if this makes a difference, but I kind of like to crisscross it a little bit. I might come in and just put one bead where I can still see the line. Yeah, we're gonna let that dry. It takes a while. It'll take more than 10 minutes, so we'll come back then. Okay, so the Gorilla Snot has not completely dried yet. It's only really dry in these areas where you can see a big color difference, but it's dry enough and tacky enough for us to get started on the other side. I'm gonna do a little combination of both sanding and scraping. I've got a 2000 grit pad, and I don't want to sand too much because I don't want there to be like where you can see a sanding like track. I'm just gonna sand a little bit, and then I'm going to take a plastic razor blade and kind of take it at this stage where it's not really cured yet and kind of pick it up off of the texture. I'm just going to be very careful around that area where we've got our line because I don't want to get into that. So I'm going to start with this, and then we will buff out any imperfections after I'm done scraping. There are some raised areas left now, and that's what I'm going to sand down. And also I kind of want to knock down that shiny sheen a little bit. I'm jumping down to 1000 grit just to nab some of these really high places. So now I'm going to rubber down with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean the entire surface because I am thinking about using a spray can. This is the color I'm thinking about using. It's not going to be the exact same color. I don't have an inconspicuous place to test it on. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to spray a little bit of this into a cup and dab it on an area, probably on one of the sides, to see how close this is and if it's close enough for me to kind of spray it a little bit and blend it in. Okay, so our gray color really didn't dry the color that I wanted it to. So I'm actually going to paint it black. I think it's going to look good. I'm going to need to prep it, but I'm also going to need to tape off this black piece. To paint it, I'm using a Krylon satin black, and we're gonna go for it. So black paint didn't end up working out. The semi-gloss finish is too glossy. I ended up taking the vehicle for a test drive to test a brake job I was working on, and the sun shining on this, I wouldn't say would cause a wreck or anything like that, but would be pretty darn annoying, I think, for an owner. Another reason to not go with a semi-gloss finish is it really does make it stand out more. Maybe if you're gonna go with a run-of-the-mill spray can, flat or matte would probably be a better option than semi-gloss. I also wanted to point out on this repair, that day it was way too cold to be out here working on little particular things like this. So that was part of the reason why the epoxy glue was so hard. Normally it's a lot more runny and easy to manipulate when you first mixed it up, but it was extremely tacky. And I knew that that wasn't what it was supposed to be like, but I went for it anyway. A bit of what created some of the drift, some of the issues, was that the glue was kind of pushing it. But also it was so cold that I needed to get warm, and I walked away from it for that 10 to 20 minutes and wasn't babysitting it, and so that's why it drifted on the one side. It didn't drift too badly, but it's enough to really bother my perfectionism. So my tips are, if you are going to be working in the cold, you need to set your glue out in a temperature room for it to get up to a more appropriate temperature and to babysit it. Just make sure as it's drying that you're kind of putting some pressure on some of these areas that ended up sticking back out. Yeah, anyway, those are my tips. So I'm going to go with the gray paint that I shunned earlier that was a little too light. Color SEM, Color Coat for interior trim. So it won't be the exact color, but it's pretty darn close anyway. I should have gone with it in the first place, so that's what we're gonna do. So the gray paint reacted with the black paint and pulled off of the plastic.
What is it doing?
It's curling.
Wait, were we supposed to prep?
It was prepped. This is a series of unfortunate shop events. Well, lovely, more work. Once it had gotten about 10 minutes, it was hard to scrape off. This is not satisfying. This is depressing. Yeah, I guess you can't paint over the paint, so we're gonna go at this again. The crack that I repaired has 2 clips that go into the dash, and the repair was able to hold up and keep that piece together even with the pressure of me pulling on it. I think it held up remarkably well, even though I wasn't being extremely careful with it in the repainting process. So even though the repair didn't go perfect, I couldn't be happier with the durability of it. I think it speaks a lot to the process and the materials. We hope you found this video helpful, and as always, we will try to answer as many questions as we can in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again in the shop. Plastic weld That's the ice. Sorry. We had a ice storm and now it's finally gone. I am freezing right now. My just hasn't really worked out for me. I